Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna be playing Cthulhu Deep Green this evening, by Justin Ford, wherein the player characters are all agents of the conspiracy, people that are drawn from all walks of life to combat supernatural threats of the universe while ensuring that the general populace, including their own friends and families, remain blissfully unaware. This obviously comes with a terrible burden on an individual's psyche and constantly threatens to push them over the edge and into the abyss. And so tonight, all of the player characters, they are members of a cell that's part of the conspiracy. Cell is called S Cell. And you may have worked with each other at some point in the past, may be aware of each other at least. You do not know each other's real names or identities. That's kept a closely guarded secret. But what we're going to do to start, I think, is we should start each character with a little at-home scene before, as they get the call to go on to this particular mission. Now, you've all got an anchor, which is what your characters use to keep them grounded and sane. And you can introduce that into this if you wish to start with. It's entirely up to you, or we're just kind of a general scene of them doing whatever they do during the day normally until they get this call from the conspiracy to go off on their little mission. So, who would be up for going first, if anybody? And if you're not, don't worry about it. We'll skip this and we'll just go straight on into.
Let me get the thing upstairs.
Okay. Okay. All right. No worries. And you as Kadari has rightly pointed out, it's basically this game is a mashup of Cthulhu Dark, which we have played on this channel before, and Delta Green, which is a very, very highly regarded role-playing game from Arc Dream Publishing. And this is like a mashup of the two. So it's using the very, very simplistic rules from Cthulhu Dark, which basically involves players rolling 1 or 2, maybe 3 six-sided dice whenever they attempt a task. All right. Who would be interested in maybe setting the scene first, or?
I'm quite happy to, but I thought Majin might be jumping in there for some.
Oh well, it may be.
Was he jumping in with some props there?
He's got props.
No, I got props.
He's got props. Did you want to go first then, Margin, or did you want somebody else to take the lead first?
No, bring it.
You want to go for it? Okay.
Go for it.
So where do we find? Now you're playing Agent Shark this evening, are you not?
Yep, I am.
So where do we find Agent Shark on an evening?
Agent Shark is a big, huge comic book nerd.
Okay.
And he's in his comic book room.
Okay, and so what does he get up to? I mean, is this a kind of like something that he uses to kind of de-stress and to wind down from a busy day? What does he do? What does he normally do for a job?
He's a ethical hacker. He works for the government and mostly hunts scammers.
Nice.
As a hobby.
Okay, fantastic. So where do we find you in your comic book room? Are you doing anything in particular this evening?
He's actually watching anime at the moment.
Okay. All right. And so, as you're watching your anime, you each member of the conspiracy have a phone, a burner phone.
Mm-hmm.
And you are required to check in on this phone every 24 hours. If you do not do that, they assume that something very bad has happened to you, and they start to monitor things. So you're used to every now and again typing a code into this phone or whatever.
Yep.
It's been a while since it's actually gone off with a notification. That's exactly what happens. There is this ping from your phone.
Okay. And he checks his phone.
Okay. And I'll show it to everybody because you'll all see the same message. And it basically just says, from Hello, which is your handler that you know. It just says, get your butts to Seattle now. Agent MIA.
Oof. Man, fine.
So what is it? What is it that Shark does to prepare for a mission? Is there anything in particular?
He already has his bags, like stationed down.
Okay, like a go bag.
Yeah. But he normally takes a shower and then just leaves everything behind.
Yeah. What kind of things does he have in that?
Clothing, a laptop, and different types of phones.
Oh, okay. Sure. Okay. And so we kind of see you gathering your bags together.
Yep.
And then heading out of the door on your way to Seattle. Who's up next? Who wants to go next? Oh, hello, dog.
I'll look at Tara now. You've lost us already.
I know. That's fine. Fine.
I'm happy to go next.
Okay. Sure. So, who do we have? Who do we have here?
Well, are we going with our code names or our real?
That's entirely up to you. Your code name will only be what your fellow agents would refer to you as and would only know you as.
Yeah. So,
but you can tell everybody else who you really are if you wish.
Yeah. My character, if I recall correctly, is Derek Brown. Yes, that's correct. And his code name is Cypher Eth. He is a crypto trader, and that's how he makes his money. And he is reasonably adept with computers. And he is sitting in a room that is just awash with monitors. He's got multiple computers all running at the same time. He's got multiple identities. He's got multiple accounts. He's in communication with people all around the world. All these tech bros that he scams the cryptocurrencies with. He's got NFTs coming out of his ears. He's buying land in various metaverse spaces.
Okay.
So,
single-handedly destroying the planet.
Yes.
Allegedly.
Yes.
Okay. And so when this burner phone pings, what's his reaction?
Yeah, he loves this stuff. He is a huge conspiracy nut. Like, that's why he got into Dogecoin in the first place. He's absolutely, he absolutely loves this stuff. He lives for it. And this is like the height. So when he's at home and he's doing all this stuff, he's operating on adrenaline all the time. So when he gets this stuff out, and he's looking at his other screens, he's got all the kind of flat Earth theories and Facebook groups that espouse that kind of stuff. He's right into it. He's watching YouTube videos. He's involved in all manner of darknet under Tor-based sort of servers and clients. He's not a hacker. He just
right.
loves that whole conspiracy culture. So yeah, he made some choice accidental discoveries. He hypothetically walked himself into this C cell.
Okay, right.
because he was a bit too close to the bone a little bit too often.
Right.
So yeah,
So he actually believes these conspiracy theories.
Oh yeah, he's
kind of into them, and and some of them turned out to be true.
Yeah, and he put 2 and 2 together and got
is...
4, which was wrong because you shouldn't do that when the government's involved.
No, damn right.
Ignorance.
So he's excited.
Yes.
He's excited when all this kicks right. So how does he prepare for a mission? What does he do? What does he get these things together? What does he do?
Well, of course, he needs to travel, so he gets his motorbike out of the garage. It's already kitted up. He has everything that he needs on it. I don't know what the deal is with this game and weapons. If we're allowed weapons, he has weapons. If not, then
if you want weapons, yeah. I mean, within reason, obviously.
Yeah. It's America, so anything.
You're not carrying swords around and shit because it's the US.
It's
in the 21st century.
Yeah, so it's basically he's got his.
So guns are fine.
Guns are fine. Yeah, guns are fine. And he's kicked out and he's driving. He's zipping through whatever city he's from, and he's getting to the airport to get
heading out there. Nice one. Okay, who's up next? Are we going as we go along? We'll go to Kidari, if that's all right. If you're all right with that, Josh. Hi. Who are you playing this evening? Excellent.
I'm playing Agent Sputnik.
Agent Sputnik.
We find him in an otherwise mostly bare apartment. Some small tables around the edges, but most of the room dedicated to a thick wire mesh cage, maybe 6 feet cube, which he's sat inside with various bits of electronic equipment and
like a Faraday
radios
cage.
that are mostly disassembled. It is a Faraday cage.
Okay. Not that everybody's paranoid in this game.
No, he's making music. That's what it's for.
Well, I'm just wondering because he's a government agent, isn't he? As well.
He is, yes.
Which government? Or do you want to keep that?
That's for me to know and you to find out.
Sure. Sorry, carry on. You're sat inside this.
We find him sitting in this cage, seemingly repairing some sort of electronics equipment. The burner phone, of course, is left outside the cage, so when it buzzes, it's going to take a few minutes of powering everything down, opening the cage, closing the cage, locking the cage, walking over to the phone to find out that Hallow's summoned us. Okay. Right in the middle of my work.
Yes. How frustrating. So, what kind of stuff does he get together then if he's going to go off on a mission for the conspiracy?
The normal go bag, the tool bag, which is mostly various electronic elements, wiretaps, radio hacking tools, basically.
Yeah.
Various bits and pieces for picking up of signals. And a gun, of course.
Yes.
Always make sure you've got one.
Damn right.
You never know what the conspiracy is going to get you into. And on his way out the door, he just feels at his neck and checks. He's wearing a small locket. He looks down at it for a second, closes the door.
Excellent. Okay. And that just leaves us with Agent Orla.
Yes.
How are you this evening?
So, Agent Orla. She will be working late into the night. So she's a lawyer by day, obviously working towards the senior associate. So she will have any case files that she has at home, working through them, and will continue to do late into the night. Like she does
okay.
every night.
Dedicated.
Yes.
Yeah, and she has a son, does she?
Yes. So it's a 15-year-old son named Drew. And this is the reason why she's so dedicated to make sure, to have a proper career and give him everything.
Yeah. So does he live with Orla?
Yes.
Okay, so what's the deal then when the burner phone goes? Does she have somebody that she calls?
Yes, I have a very renowned support system.
Yeah.
Obviously her excuses with work, obviously being a lowly associate. She's palmed it off that like she has to go and visit these clients and everything, so she was always being sent away. So she has people that she can call, whether it be her son's father or grandparents or anything. There's always somebody there.
Yep. Yeah. Excellent. So what kind of things does she take with her if she's going on a mission? Do you have any idea?
It'd just be the usual, like an overnight bag, but obviously she will still take her case files. Maybe a couple of books to read, because obviously sometimes you get stuck on a journey.
Yep.
Yeah, no weapons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. And so you all head to Seattle. Now, you all know that there is a particular place in Seattle that Hello tends to summon you to when you are called there. This 24-hour diner. And you all gradually make your ways there. The diner is deserted, apart from whoever is behind the counter, the woman behind the counter. There is a booth in the far corner, which contains one person. You recognize her anyway, as your contact, your handler, Hello. She's kind of hunched forward with a baseball cap, covering her eyes. She's leaning over a cup of coffee. You know this diner. The coffee's expensive, but it's pretty good, and she always pays. You all arrive roughly the same time, I guess.
I guess so.
Yeah. Well, that'll make things a little easier. So it is kind of the middle of the night by the time you all get there. It's so it is empty apart from Hello and the waitress. What do you do, guys? Actually, have any of you worked together before?
No, it's all new.
No, it's all new for you. Okay, excellent.
Possibly. Like, Agent Ul has been with the company for about 4 or 5 years.
Okay, so there's a good chance that she'll have worked with some of these people before. So you would know each other, of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you will, but also be aware of the guy that's missing, Agent Soiree. So Hello's waiting at the booth at the far end of the diner as you enter. And the lighting is quite subdued in here. It's like somebody's turned the dimmer switch down a little.
So if anybody's in there already, you hear a motorbike just kind of roaring up and revving down outside.
Yeah. When I go in, I'll go nod to behind the counter, ask for coffee, and then go and join Hello.
Okay.
Roll the eyes.
Slide yourself. At this time of night.
Yeah.
You slide yourself into the booth. She doesn't even look up. Kind of like you recognize the baseball cap. The kind of, she's got long, lank hair. She's probably you estimate to be in her mid-50s. She doesn't even look up as you settle yourself down in front. The rest of you, are you all sidling in?
Yep.
Okay. Until
Hello.
the booth is pretty much full. Oh, is that a joke?
Yeah.
Hello.
Agent Shark actually runs past Hello, because he has to take a piss.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a long flight. Okay, yeah, and she just sits there, just staring into her coffee while you all kind of assemble.
I'll look up
Um,
and see if I can attract the waiter for a coffee.
yeah. And she wanders over, and she's got the old notepad in her hand. What can I get you?
Double espresso, please.
Okay.
Black, small, 3 sugars.
She doesn't judge. She takes your orders, scribbling them down, and Agent Shark kind of arrives back a few moments later. She's patiently waiting for you to take your order. And then she kind of looks across at Hello and she says, what about same for you, Jill? And that's kind of like we think, well, that's a bit odd. She knows her name and is using it. Or that's a name that certainly Hello's obviously given. I mean, she does come here quite regularly, but...
Is this an agency joint then, Hello?
She looks up, finally. Oh, good to see you all. Bad time you all got here. She unfolds a piece of paper that she takes out of the jacket pocket, and she kind of smooths it out on the table in front of you. Soiree's missing.
Soiree, eh? What happened?
We don't know. The bit of paper seems to contain some kind of record details of Agent Soiree, including his name, which is kind of weird. We're not sure. We haven't heard from him for 3 days. We've been monitoring. We've not had anything from his phone. He's just disappeared.
Was he on assignment?
We're always on assignment. You know that Soiree is a surveillance specialist.
Didn't see that coming then, did he?
I guess not. Although,
Who was he with?
well, as far as we know, wasn't with anyone. It's been 72 hours. We've not heard anything from him. Higher-ups are thinking that maybe he's gone over the edge.
Well, you've checked the hospitals, you've checked the police cells.
Mm-hmm.
Have you checked the web?
The web?
The dark web?
We've been monitoring. There's no sign of him. We don't know where he's gone.
What about
was
his
he?
holdings?
Last
Has
you
he-
heard.
Last thing we heard from him, he said that he was looking into something. He didn't say what. He did say it could be nothing. I guess it wasn't.
I'm quite certain the conspiracy keeps tabs on us. They don't care what he said. Where was he the last you knew?
The last I saw him, last time we heard from him, he was in Seattle.
What about his money? Have you followed it? Tracked it? Transactions?
His accounts haven't been accessed.
Strange.
It's only been 3 days. I mean, maybe he's just gone dark. But he's not checked in on his phone.
Why did you call us in? Haven't you got people closer on the ground?
We've called you in.
Huh. It's been a while since I've been in Seattle. Didn't get much sleep last time I was here.
Yeah, I don't know whether you're going to get much sleep this time around either, but maybe for different reasons.
You
Did you
have no
try?
idea what he was investigating. You have no idea where he is. So, you've lost an agent, is what you're telling us.
Yes.
And
We've
you want us
misplaced an
to
agent.
cover your fuck up.
No, this is your job. You're going to find him.
Which edge do you think he's gone off? Said he's gone off an edge. Which edge? Which edge?
Suspected post-traumatic stress disorder.
Okay.
Obviously, he's not turned up on any hospital records or anything yet. He's not showed up at any morgues. He hasn't shown up anywhere.
Who are his known associates?
Well, he operates a photography studio out of his apartment.
And he said nothing about what he was investigating.
Not much. No.
So we
Just said there was something here in Seattle that he was interested in. He said it may be nothing, and that he would report in with a few days. Unfortunately.
So if there was something in Seattle that caught his attention, would it not caught yours?
Well, he is us. Remember,
Okay.
you're all us.
Would it not caught attention of more than him?
What do you mean? I mean, it's caught my attention. That's why I've called you.
No, like he's obviously seen something, found something to go and investigate. But would he literally be the only person in this whole city to have noticed this? Is he the only person in this city that you have?
I guess that's why he figured maybe it was nothing.
Has nobody else figured anything out?
Maybe there's nothing to figure out. We don't know. Maybe he's just gone nuts. Maybe he's just thrown himself off a bridge somewhere. We don't know.
Did you
That's
think
why
of
I'm
If he'd thrown himself
asking
off a bridge, he'd be in a morgue. If he'd gone
Maybe.
nuts, he'd be in a hospital. A mental
Well, that kind of
institute.
depends. That depends whether anybody's found the body yet. It's only been 3 days.
You've been round to
Do
his
you have any
apartment.
lines of report other than you?
No, we've not been round to his apartment. That's why I've called you in. Yeah. There's an investigation happening right now, and you're it.
What about the local plod?
We've made inquiries with the local police precincts, and they don't seem to have any information on him either. Certainly nobody matching his description has turned up there.
Or they have and just don't tell us. I mean, comes to that.
Maybe.
There must be something. There must be something that conspiracy know about that Soiree's been able to investigate. What about inquiries at the library? What was he looking at on the system, on C-cell systems before he?
It doesn't really work quite like that. We don't know what he was looking at. That's why we've called you in. You're going to investigate, and you're going to find out.
Nice coffee.
Good. Let's hope it keeps you alert.
Sounds like we're gonna need it.
Maybe there's something on his drive, whatever, on his cloud. Have you checked that?
I
No?
think that's our job. Shall we get?
Yeah.
Shall we get going?
Yeah, let's go.
I just drink the rest of the coffee and drop it.
Okay.
No, put it down. Don't want to pain or anything. Just walk out.
Oh, no. She always covers the tab. Don't worry. So you're going to head over to
His
Wilk's
apartment?
apartment. Is that the plan?
Be the best place to
Details.
start.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sure do. You have his address. Absolutely. All right. It's relatively easy for you to get into Wilk's apartment. He basically lives on the edge of the University District of Seattle. He has this quite small apartment on the 3rd floor. It's quite a small apartment. compact and bijou, but he's built himself a nice photography studio within one of the rooms of this apartment here. And that appears to have been what he does generally during the day. He's a photographer. He takes photographs. As you enter his photography studio, all his equipment is kind of laid out. It's all very neat, quite utilitarian apartment. It's very stark. There's very little in the way of ornaments or anything like that. It's all very utilitarian, very tidy. Everything has its place. And his computer is there on a desk in the studio.
I'll grab my laptop, just throw it on the desk.
Yep.
And click it in.
Sure. Yep, and his computer powers on as well, if that's what you're intending to do.
Of course.
Yeah.
Checking in his bedroom, seeing if there's clothes missing.
Yep.
If there's
Okay. What's everybody else doing? Is everybody else doing anything in particular?
I'd be checking out his photography equipment.
Okay.
Whether it's digital or not, see if there's anything still on the cameras.
Yep.
If anything, if they were set up like he's just had a shoot or anything like that, if there was anything on there.
Okay.
Anything missing while you're at it? Whatever he took with him.
Yeah. So, firstly, then, as you're searching the room, Cypher, there is like a bag, like a holdall that's underneath his bed, and you kind of drag that out. It appears to be. I mean, you would probably recognise this as kind of a go bag already. It's got clothes in there, toothbrush, toothpaste, kind of the stuff you would have if you were going to make a quick getaway or something like that. Kind of maps of the local area.
Yeah.
And
Grab that.
a snub-nosed revolver.
Oh.
And an extra phone.
I take both of those and the bag, and take it through into the photography studio where the others are, if at least some are.
Yeah.
He's got a go bag, and his weapon hasn't been taken, and I've checked it, and there's like ammo in the hold all, and
yeah, there's like six rounds in the gun. There's a portable radio, spare batteries, maps of the area, bottled water, first aid kit.
He was ready to go. He was ready. He was just there, and this is what we took, right? And I'd stump it down. Maybe he's been snatched. Maybe somebody got to him.
Take his bag.
We need to find out what he was investigating, because clearly he's gone around in Seattle, so he's not taken any of these provisions like we would normally do. So it's somewhere that he knows, I would assume, and somewhere that he didn't feel the need to take a weapon, or otherwise he has another weapon.
The other thing that you will have noticed as you were kind of searching, or you were searching around his photography equipment, is that his camera is not there. Everything else is, but the camera is missing.
So once, is this about your name already? Cypher comes back in. Obviously, explains that. I will explain to everyone, like, he may not have taken his bag, but he has taken his camera, or somebody has taken his camera. Because out of all this equipment that's set up, his camera's missing.
But he didn't feel the need to take his burner. I'll just check that the phone in his go bag was his conspiracy burner.
It's not.
He had a different
It's like
phone
a
in his go
spare.
bag.
Yes, he did.
Right.
Yes.
And I obviously won't say that thing that I investigated the phone before I said.
No worries, no worries. Shark, you've set your stuff up on the computer here. Is there anything you're looking for in particular?
I'm looking into his cloud to see if there's a location in there.
On his PC, there are obviously he's been taking a lot of photographs. You can see there are numerous photographs of various different models that he's been working with. You do come across a folder that is encrypted.
Okay. Let's see if I can hack into that.
Okay. So what we'll do then? Let's make a roll here.
Yep.
You can roll because this is your bag, right? This is your thing. So you get to roll the occupation die.
Okay.
Which we'll see what the result is.
IMT roll. Stream.
Here we go.
2022.
Now 4 is pretty good. Yeah. The password you've kind of managed to figure out a way of bypassing the password, which turns out to be Soiree for 3. And it opens up, and there are numerous photographs and little video clips in there. Now the photographs appear to be of a particular woman that he's, and they seem to be taken out in the streets at various different locations. The video clips seem to be of, they seem to be from old, like cable talk shows from several years ago, and they all feature this same woman, which you ascertain her name is actually Rachel Kinder, and she seems to be some kind of she's a chef, like a local celebrity almost at this point. I mean, we're going back a few years. It's probably kind of late 80s, early 90s. But she, it seems to be that she was quite a big deal back in the day at that point. And yeah, these are just basically clips of her on these talk shows, just basically talking about food and her what she gets up to.
That's interesting. I'll go and see if I can find more on it.
Okay. Yeah, so you can do a little bit more digging. And yes, it turns out this Rachel Kinder was a celebrity chef, effectively. She was quite a well-known chef in the Seattle area for a while. She did kind of disappear for a while. And you kind of get the impression she's kind of trying to make some kind of comeback, but she's not really made it to the lofty heights that she was at before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And she'd opened a restaurant, which is on one of the photographs as well. It's an old restaurant. It's called The Worldly Traveller. But as far as you can tell, after you do a little bit of digging, there's no... she hasn't opened any license. She hasn't got any licenses for that place anymore. It appears to be shut. Yeah. Anybody else up to anything while Shark's doing this?
Just to rule out an angle, as soon as I figure it out, I'll just grab my burner and text hello and just say Rachel Kinder conspiracy ?
Okay. Yeah, there's like a delay of a few moments, and you just get not on our radar.
Right. And I'm walking out to the apartment.
Okay. Anybody else up to anything while Shark is conducting his internet investigation?
Is there anything that looks like it might be a 2FA key or anything that looks like a piece of hardware that would be able to enable a hidden part of a computer or files or soft wallet or something like that for
no, I guess anything that would have been like that, I guess Shark would already have cracked with his role or whatever. So,
yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yes, that's what he does. Which has allowed him into this kind of section which he had
so
encrypted.
nothing extra there. Right, cool.
No, it doesn't seem to be, no.
Well, I'll take that, and I grab the gun and the ammo.
Okay. Yeah. Is Ola up to anything?
After seeing that the camera's missing, Ola will just continue to go around the apartment, trying to think of all the normal things that people would have, see if anything else is missing.
Okay.
So nothing that looks like it should be there. It's like anything normal that you would take on an outing. Because obviously her thought is he's gone somewhere with a camera to catch something and get proof of something. So it's like, what else would you take on that sort of outing, whether that's missing?
Yeah, so I guess lenses and things like that would be... He would have like a hold all, I guess, with a camera and lenses, with all that kind of stuff. That is all missing. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. There's nothing there that... So clearly he took his camera on wherever he was going. He took all of that, intending to take photographs.
Yeah, so it's not that somebody's coming and stole the camera. It's literally going with the assumption he's took everything to go and get photos with all the different lenses, which will be like distance and stuff. So he needs to get all this proof.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could assume that if you wish.
Yeah, I think that's the thought I'm going down, because he's going checking something out, so he wants the proof. So
yeah. Okay, cool. And so I guess the other thing would be that you would notice had you been going through the room, Cypher, you went through the bedroom, didn't you? You found the bag. The wardrobe did contain, a whole bunch of his clothes there. It's quite a snappy dresser, really. There was some women's clothes in there as well. Yeah, they weren't his size.
Any bags? Any other like handbags or anything that might have any ID in it? Any tickets in pockets or?
You do find like tickets for cinema stubs and things like that. You do find stuff like that. Yeah, all the usual stuff you would expect.
So this looks like it might have been a romantic entanglement.
That's exactly what you're thinking. Yeah.
Is that allowed in the conspiracy? Do we have leeway for that kind of?
No, I mean you're basically you get to live out your normal lives.
Okay.
It's just every now and again you get to disappear and
yeah.
So
I say that I go back in the room. I catch Orla as you're looking around, and I say, Orla, looks like he had a significant other living with him or staying with him at least. You found anything?
It's more like what's not here. It's more than his camera that's gone. It's all the equipment for the camera. So I'm generally thinking that he has took the camera. He's gone out with the camera to somewhere, obviously in Seattle, to get proof of whatever he was investigating.
Maybe his girlfriend knows something.
See, there's no mention of a partner on his file.
Shark, did you find anything on the computers that might link us to?
Yeah, let's go back to Shark a moment. Yeah, as you're kind of digging around on this stuff, you're kind of looking, you're checking through. I mean, his internet history is pretty clear, as you would expect. He's probably going to be removing it and deleting it, being part of the conspiracy. That would be normal. But as you kind of go digging through his kind of email and things like that, you find he's signed himself up to like a mailing group, if you like, of a supper club. One of these groups that kind of meets. And it attracts your attention because of the connection with, obviously, Rachel Kinder being a chef. That he has joined this, or maybe he's just into cuisine. Who knows?
Maybe.
But yeah, there's this. He's signed himself up to like a mailing list for a local kind of dining club. And there's been some activity on it quite recently. Probably the thing that gets your attention the most is about 3 days ago. There was a meeting
Okay.
Where the group met at one of the houses of one of the members for a meal. And it's the address given is in the Capitol Hill area of Seattle, quite upmarket.
Okay. I'll grab a pen and a piece of paper.
Yep.
Write a location down.
Sure.
And I copy his complete hard drive and cloud to my my own hard drives.
Okay. I mean, that might take a bit of time, but yes, sure. What is Agent Sputnik doing outside? That's what I want to know.
Having a fag.
I walk out into the corridor and I'm looking around. I assume there's at least one door between his apartment and the stairs.
Yep. Yeah, that makes sense.
And I'm going to walk up to that door and knock on it. As I do so, I'm going to look down the corridor, see if there's any other doors that move. Any nosy neighbours who are listening for things happening in the corridor.
Okay, no, there's no... It's quite late at night. But so there... And it's like... I mean, you're not, like, hammering on the door or anything like that, are you? To kind of...
No, I'm knocking politely.
Yeah. So no, you don't see any reaction from any of the doors further down the corridor. You do eventually have somebody open the door that you're knocking on. An elderly woman kind of looks out, a little bleary-eyed, and she kind of sticks these glasses, really thick lenses in, kind of looks you up and down. What do you want at this time?
Hello, ma'am. I'm sorry to disturb you. I'm looking for my friend Reggie. He lives at the next apartment in 303. We've not seen him for a couple of
3
days.
a.m. What are you knocking on his door
Yes,
at 3 a.m.?
That's why we're worried. We've not seen him for a couple of days. His door was open. I was wondering if you knew the last time you heard him down the corridor, maybe the last time he walked past, last time you saw him.
She kind of thinks for a moment. Maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 days ago, 3 days, I don't know.
Had there been anybody else around? Any other friends?
Only that girl.
Do you know her name?
No. She's Asian.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm sorry to disturb your sleep.
Yeah. Get out of here.
I'll walk back towards Soiree's apartment.
Yep. And the door slams behind you as you walk back to the apartment. Yes, and you enter while currently Agent Shark is downloading everything that he can.
He's got NVMe. It's gigabit. It's all good. It won't take that long.
Can you not just take the hard drive with us?
It's a Mac. Good luck.
Yeah, it's an iMac. Yeah.
Yeah,
We have a truck. We can put it in the truck.
I'm not taking that shit with me.
But that would be theft.
Oh, he says, fondling the gun in his coat pocket.
Yeah.
The neighbours have heard nothing. They say there was a girl here sometimes. The girlfriend, maybe. An Asian woman, but no idea of her name.
There are quite a few photographs of a particular Asian girl that Shark will have seen. One of the models, quite striking. She's featured in quite a few of these photographs. Could be the same person.
Could be.
I
terrible.
scan bookshelves, etc., for maybe a university yearbook or a school yearbook of some sort,
Yep.
and just take some time to flick through it, see if the woman depicted in the photos is in it at all.
No, I don't think she would be.
Okay. I take some time doing that anyway because someone's downloading. So
I chuck the cinema tickets at Shark, and I say, maybe he's got an account with the local cinema. Might have bought tickets in our name. Have a look. And I chuck over the tickets with the details in it.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's say that yes, she may actually she may actually have bought some cinema tickets. Yeah, I think that's a reasonable thing. Yeah. Then the name you get is Emily Nguyen.
Emily Nguyen.
Yeah.
Do we know that name?
It's not one that'll be familiar to you, no. But her photograph, if it's her, and you can assume that's a fairly safe bet.
Well, once we obviously get her name, I just do a quick search on social media under that name.
Yeah. I don't think that would be difficult, and it would be reasonable to assume that she would have social media accounts. Yeah, so I guess you would find her. Yeah.
Being a model and such, yeah.
Yeah. Kind of the weird thing about it, I guess, is that she has not made an entry for at least 3 days.
Yep.
So, would it be checking through it? Like, she was normally quite active on social media with it.
She was relatively active, She was a 30-something.
And then not post for 3 days.
30-something. You 30-somethings, you do social media, don't you?
Right, yeah. So it's just like it's weird that she's not been on. You can even
yeah. I mean, much like everyone. I mean, there are a phase. If you were to go back certain points, then there are phases where there are spots where she's not posted much of anything on any media platform, but this just happens to coincide with roughly around the same time, I guess. Weird, isn't it?
Winky dink.
Soiree was on this mailing list you said for Supper Club. Is Emily on the same list? Could they have both gone to the event?
Could check.
Take a look.
Yeah. No, she is not.
Does the event description suggest that a +1 would be acceptable? Is it members only, as it were?
No, it does seem that +1s would be.
Okay.
Absolutely.
It's possible they both went to this house on Capitol Hill, and then both of them we have not heard from since.
Could be.
But if he went to go and check something out, so do you think it's something to do with the supper club or this house?
Well, they are one and the same, surely. The supper club leads him to the house leads him to disappearing for 3 days.
Yeah.
It's the last place we can assume he went. It was 3 days ago. He left 3 days ago. He's signed up to this for a reason, unless he just enjoys eating.
And who doesn't?
People enjoy eating.
So, in this mailing list, does it have a list of literally everybody else that's involved?
Yeah, they're all kind of got these handles, if you like, for these various different people that are part of this list, yeah. And there's maybe a dozen or so people on it, or a dozen or so names on it.
Cypher, how about you check out cross-reference every email address?
Yeah, and I get my laptop out or whatever it is and start just quickly going through the list of all the people that Shark's handing over or pointing at me on the screen.
Okay. What is it you're wanting to know specifically about?
I
You
would
can get
like
their email addresses.
I'd like to know if there's any obvious connection with any conspiracies or like do their Facebook profiles show them to be
Cypher sees conspiracies everywhere.
open to kind of manipulation? What was the supper club's real motive? That's what I'm trying to find out. Is it possible that the supper club was a front for a thing, and is it possible to look at the names that are associated publicly and work out what that might be, given Cypher's slightly paranoid way of looking at the world?
Okay. I think. Tell you what.
You want a roll?
Let's have a roll.
Hey.
Now, I'm going to leave it up to you whether you think that this would come under an occupational thing for Cypher.
Yeah, because like this is what he does. He's like he sits there trading Bitcoin, Ethereum, buying,
and looking into conspiracies and
yeah. So like
everybody
totally
has hobby that they do as much as it's a job.
Yeah,
It's basically occupation for him, finding out if birds are real.
Okay, let's make a roll. Ooh.
There we go.
Okay. One of the names on there, I think because of the nature of the kind of person that Cypher is, one of the handles on there perhaps draws him in a little bit, and it says at world_eater, which probably triggers something in Cypher's little conspiracy kind of mind, maybe, as just being a little bit like,
Yeah.
that's a little bit creepy. I mean, maybe it would just seem innocuous in a supper club thing, but that kind of sets you off down a little path. And you kind of as you're going through all of these handles and tracking and tracing them down.
Yep.
It does seem to belong to one Rachel Kinder.
Oh. So we've double back then. We've got a loop.
Yeah, who does seem to kind of almost be like the instigator of the whole thing.
So she's the supper club. This is some supper club. I don't know what they're eating there, but
One assumes they're eating popular foods made by a world-renowned chef. There is
There you go.
a chef in that.
Yeah.
Cypher's
Exactly.
not buying it.
Yeah.
You just see him shaking his head. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. That's how conspiracy theories work, people.
So, whose house did they go to?
Yeah, that was actually a different handle. You can kind of, as the bunch of you are kind of sat there trying to around the computer and on your phones and whatever, the Capitol Hill area, but that belongs to a different family. You kind of track that back. The name is Grant Swanson.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, any names that we find, it will be, while Cypher's doing the conspiracy checks, I'll just do the normal check and social media.
Okay. I'm kind of assuming that you're all kind of
Yeah.
correlating stuff with each other as you're finding this stuff out, which is why how you've come across these names.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything else in particular that you're looking for, or?
I think it's just think going off what happened on Emily's social media, I would kind of look for maybe the same, even though it's at his house, if he's been active on social media, because we know
Soiree?
no, Grant Swanson.
Oh, right, okay.
I want to see if he's been active on social media. If he's on social media, I don't know.
Well, let's put it this way. He's on Facebook.
Oh, he's on there. That's all, right?
So yeah, he's just not active at all.
Not really. No, I mean, it's not like he's... the stuff that he's putting up, it does seem to be maybe food... You know, the usual, this is what I have at breakfast, bollocks. That maybe is kind of...
Well, has he had breakfast in the last 3 days?
He is clearly... Yeah. He hasn't posted, actually, in the last few days, no, to be fair. But it's not like he's, like, super active anyway. But, no, there's definitely... I mean, he's not been on social media for the last few days.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe there would have been... actually, maybe there was a post a few days ago where basically him saying how excited he was to be hosting the supper club.
Okay.
Everything seems to point back to Supper Club. When you are finished with download, we need to check out the address on Capitol Hill.
Yep.
Yeah, let's say that download will finish. It wouldn't take you too long, maybe.
No.
So Angie's mocking me because I don't do social media, so I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Doing great. It's fine.
Every time I go to cinema,
breakfast.
John Boyega
Yeah?
tells me about social media, and every time he says somebody's posting breakfast, so I'm convinced people are still posting breakfast. John
It's a
Boyega
thing,
says
right?
so.
It's a thing. It's still a thing. Yeah. It may not be a thing for you, Ange, but it's a thing.
I'm going to post my breakfast tomorrow just for Ange.
In fact, everybody tomorrow should post their breakfast.
I'll make sure I have
Actually, that sounds like a euphemism, doesn't it, for taking a dump or something? That's party breakfast, isn't it?
I mean, it used
Well,
to
I mean,
be.
on Christmas we were all posting pictures of our fingers, weren't we? I'm confused.
Yeah.
Dear,
It's not
only
weird.
on Twitter. Yeah, Twitter, Facebook, I don't know the difference.
One of them's an evil multi-trillion pound company, the other one isn't. That's
And
all
the
you
other
need
one's
to know.
Facebook. Anyway,
Yep. I'll finish the download.
yep, you finished the download. It's probably, probably what? After you've been through all of the apartments and everything, it's probably around, I don't know, 6 o'clock in the morning. The sun will be starting to kind of creep above the horizon, above, between the buildings over in there through the window of the apartment there. By the time that you're finished downloading this stuff, yeah. Are you heading straight to Capitol Hill?
Yeah, I think if we're all well enough rested, then yeah, go straight there. If the sun's coming up, it's we can get a good look.
Highly caffeinated, well rested. What's the difference?
Yeah, okay. You can grab coffee. I mean, you can maybe make coffee in Soiree's apartment if you feel like it. It's entirely up to you.
We've had
Or you
enough
can
time.
maybe grab one. Yeah, so you make your way out to Capitol Hill, and it's quite a swanky area. You're able to find the address fairly easily using your smartphone. This is the 21st century after all, and you find yourselves in front of a rather plush kind of home. It's about 7 a.m. by the time that you arrive, as you're kind of standing outside. How are you arriving? Are you all kind of arriving en masse and just kind of standing outside the building in a rather terrifying fashion? Or are you being discreet? What's the plan?
We sharing a vehicle?
Yeah, I mean...
yeah, I
It
would
makes
imagine
sense
so.
for those of us that want to be doing things on their phones during
Yeah.
our drive.
Yeah.
You guys can
Yeah.
look at social media.
you can post each other's breakfast if you like.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, yes. You arrive outside the house. So you're basically driving up in a. You've got like a little minivan if you like. If you could have rented, without any difficulty.
I have made great efforts to not be driving a black van.
Okay.
For the image.
White van
Oh.
man.
Or a white one.
It's sort of greyish.
Grey van.
Not
Yeah,
to be stereotyped
inconspicuous.
anyway.
People at the
Camouflage
rental
van.
place were very confused.
Yeah, so you're kind of sat maybe across the street from this particular house. There is a. You can see there's a little bit of activity as you're kind of sitting there watching the house. You kind of periodically see. It's like as a woman, as kind of comes out of the front door, down the steps to like a dumpster that kind of just outside on the street there, and she's dropping things into the into this bin and then heading back in. But she's kind of scurrying, almost like she doesn't want to be seen. That's kind of the impression that she's giving.
We recognise her from any of the photos from Soiree's apartment.
No, she's probably middle-aged woman. She's not any of the models that you saw on Soiree's computer at all. Not somebody you recognise.
I was leaning more towards Rachel Kinder, but
No,
she was
sorry. Yeah.
Would it have been anybody on Grant Swanson's social media, like his
Yes,
wife or anything like that?
it would look like Grant Swanson's wife. That's a very good point.
Okay.
You know her as Mara Swanson.
Does the
Okay.
house have any obvious security systems, cameras, Nest, doorbells, anything like that on it? Any IoT?
I figured Cypher, being the kind of person he is, he would be able to spot that shit in an instant. Yes, they're obviously the usual burglar alarm.
And I
Nothing
kinda-
too sophisticated.
I point out. I lean over to Shark and I'm like, Shark, what are those ones up there? Is there a wireless hotspot here you can get into them, or what do you think?
It's I mean, it's a decent neighborhood, and these people don't know how to set up internet. So
Well, let's just put it this way: they're middle-aged.
Yeah. Old people.
Yeah, old people. Hey,
They got
steady
their
on.
children to do it.
Steady on. I've just figured out who dies first, by the way.
no, we already had a vote for that one.
Yeah, the vote already decided.
Was it me?
It was Croy.
No.
Somehow.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
Who knew?
Standards.
I mean, you did get a vote.
Yeah, it was me. I voted for me.
Oh, you voted for you.
Now I'll grab my laptop out and go see if I can hack into the network.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that and see what happens.
That's I guess a occupation role.
Yeah, why not?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you pretty much get into everybody on the street. Anybody on this street, you could probably hack into their Wi-Fi network without too much difficulty. What do you find? Okay, let's say, the Swansons they do have one of those little Google camera things on their front door.
Ooh.
And you're able to access that.
Let's link that to our phone.
Yeah. All right. And you're able to play this stuff back, anything that you want to, if you wish.
Mm-hmm. I'll go back a few nights. See
Okay.
if something happened.
I'm assuming then that you want to see the night of 3 nights ago with the supper club, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you as you play back this footage, you see. Oddly, you see everybody arriving.
Mm.
You don't see Soiree arriving.
Ooh.
That's tricky to say. Soiree arriving.
Okay.
Actually, it's probably not that difficult at all. It's just the rum.
You want to try saying an accent? Soiree arriving?
Oh, that was very good. Ooh. Yeah. So you see these people kind of arriving. You kind of, what kind of point in time are you watching from? You kind of like early evening. So you kind of
Early
maybe, you know that the supper club thing was happening at around, like 8 p.m.
Yeah.
So what, you watching from 8 p.m. or are you watching from?
No, just an hour.
Oh,
To see
right.
if they're,
In that case, you do see Soiree arriving.
Hmm.
He arrives. It's probably about 7:15. You see him kind of arrive. You see him arrive,
Yeah.
and he goes in through the front door as if he is expected.
Mm-hmm.
And then perhaps half an hour later, 20 minutes, half an hour later, you see him leave with a woman that you recognize from the footage on Soiree's computer, which is Rachel Kinder.
So you know he's been here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you see him arrive. A few minutes later, you see him leave with her. And then she comes back, but he doesn't.
Ooh. That's interesting.
You also saw what you assume to be Emily Nguyen arrive with him, but she doesn't go out. You just see Kinder and Soiree leave, and then just Kinder comes back. And then at 8 o'clock, everybody else seems to start arriving around just before 8 o'clock.
But no Soiree.
No Soiree.
I'm leaning over to look at someone else's screen while they're viewing this.
Mhm.
Does Soiree appear to arrive in a vehicle? Do we see his car park up? Is he in a car?
I don't think you see that. Maybe he's parked kind of. If there are a lot of people arriving, they've probably all parked further down the street, maybe,
Yeah.
so that
People are going to be parking all the way down the
Yeah.
street.
yeah.
Are
so
there
you
any
kind
more
of see
than
people
usual amount
walking.
of cars here now?
No.
But presumably everybody else left. Where I'm leaning over to. Fast forwarded. See if Emily leaves later in the night.
And yeah, perhaps as everybody leaves, and you kind of see Emily there as well. The feeling you're getting is something has changed. People, as they leave, they are not looking excited, or there's something. There's something on the camera there. You feel the tension as these people practically scurry away. Even Emily.
It seems unusual.
Yeah, and Emily looks she kind of looks back at one point, and as Shark kind of just pauses it on that moment, and on her face there's this look of anguish as he pauses that.
I'm going to watch the front door. Not on the video, but right now watch the front door. And
Okay.
after Mara Swanson comes out and drops something and goes back inside, as
Yeah.
she's walking back inside, I'll just hop out of the van and walk over to the bin that she's dumping
Okay.
things in.
Yep. Sure.
And peer into it and see if I can tell what she's dumping in there.
Yeah. There are an inordinate amount of empty bottles of bleach.
Well then. I want to be inside this house. Somehow. Does she leave the door open? Does she close the door behind herself?
No,
every
she
time?
closes the door behind her. Yeah.
Right. I'm going to walk around the back.
Do we have voice
Okay.
comms? Do we have team comms? Team voice?
You tell me.
If you didn't, I've given you all a radio. I
There
brought
you go.
4.
Yeah, I would
You have.
imagine that we would.
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean,
I'm used to these people not being prepared. I brought 4.
yeah, that's excellent. Yeah. Okay. So you have these little radios. Yep.
On the footage,
Yep.
which direction did Soiree and Rachel go? Can we tell that?
You just kind of see them head out down the steps onto the kind of the sidewalk, and they walk slightly out of shot. If you can imagine that this house is like on a slight cul-de-sac. There's like an abandoned kind of dumpster kind of opposite, but there's nothing else here on this street. This is just kind of like the only house on there. So you got the bins in front of them. There's the abandoned dumpster on the opposite side, kind of, which is partially obscured by overgrown bushes and stuff now. And then, if you make your way back down out of the cul-de-sac onto more of a main street, there are more houses kind of around that area.
Okay. So I think at this point I'm going to go for a walk.
Mhm.
I want to see if I can see if there's anywhere that they could have gone. Obviously, we know that he's gone missing, so it's safe to assume at this point he might not have made it back to his car. So if there's like any point
Yeah, I
on
mean,
point-
you've got no there's nothing to say that he even owns a car
Oh yeah.
at this point. So he may have got a taxi or something, you just don't know.
Okay. I mean, I'm still gonna follow the line away from the house to see
Yeah. You kind of head out of this little cul-de-sac and onto this kind of main drag. There are lots of these kind of very nice, exclusive kind of houses that are all kind of lined along here. This isn't sat on its own. There are other houses around.
Yeah. It's just I think I want to see, because we've done the same thing with the doorbell thing on this house, if there's any, like the first house that you come to coming out the cul-de-sac,
Okay.
if there's anything on there.
Yeah, we did say that you pretty much had access to the whole area, didn't we?
Yep. Check every camera.
Yeah.
So any that I see have got one, I will relay back to Shark and just say, trying to locate it from where we are. Say this is
Sure.
whether it's further down the
Yeah, you
street
can
or
certainly
what.
do that, and you will see. You do see. When Soiree arrives, perhaps you see a taxi come down the road. You can assume that he came here by taxi with Emily.
Yep.
Before that, you do see it's like a catering that kind of comes down the road. And yeah, so you kind of see that. You can assume that was perhaps part of this group as well. and numerous cars kind of arrive during the time period, just before you see these people arriving at the Swansons' house. So you kind of finally account for, I guess, at least a number of vehicles that almost equates to the amount of people that visit.
Okay.
When they leave, it's a slightly different matter. You do see a few taxis. You do see Emily, and she is running up the street.
Okay.
She doesn't get into a taxi. She runs. And you just kind of see her run past a few of these houses before you're, And she seems to just be running headlong. There's like no reason for it. She is just running. Like she's running from something.
Okay. I'll see if I can follow her with every camera that's in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean, you do up to a point, obviously, as you've got range. And and she just is running headlong up the street. And that's all you see. Everybody else kind of leaves. They kind of scurry away. The taxis or whatever, and they just, or cars, they just disappear. And then the catering truck leaves finally.
Does it look like she's sometimes looking behind her?
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe you can even catch the fact that she occasionally some of the front doors are closer to the sidewalk than others. So maybe you can see even her face as she looks back. She looks terrified.
Okay.
Okay, so we are in Seattle. It's fairly early in the morning. We're outside the residence of one Grant and Maura Swanson. They've been sticking lots of bottles of bleach in their bin outside, it would appear.
At some places, that's quite normal.
At some places, it's quite normal. There's an awful lot of bottles of bleach in there. You've also seen footage of people leaving this establishment some days ago. And they looked, a little bit tense.
On the footage, did we see Soiree and Rachel at any point?
You saw them leave. They kind of walked down. They kind of walked down the steps at the front of the house and along the sidewalk a bit, as if they're heading out of the.
But he didn't come back.
Bit. He didn't come back, but she did.
Okay.
And his wife never left.
The Emily. No, she stayed in there at that point, but she left at the end of the night when everybody else did, and she seemed distressed.
Oh yeah, she ran. So she ran. She was the one.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, Orla, what do you think? Like, this place seems to be a hotbed of ill behavior.
It's a strange one, for sure. I think we're gonna need to speak with the Swansons, I think, and we're gonna need to see inside the house. So either that or we need to find Emily. Just which is priority.
Sputnik, why are you walking about with a bag of bleach?
I'm not taking the bleach with me.
Yeah, you've seen him wander out to where this woman has been dropping these objects. He's looked in. I don't know, has he got a confused look on his face?
Probably a little bit, but he's walked around the back of the house.
Yes, that's right, he has. And you're standing at the back door, around the side of the house there.
Cool.
I'll give it a minute and listen to Mara wandering around inside, and when I think she's out the front, I'll try this door.
Okay. The door is unlocked. At this point, I guess everybody else kind of sees Mara perhaps coming out to the front, out through the front door again. The door is unlocked for you, though, Agent Sputnik. And as you kind of push it slightly open, you hear... It's like a shh kind of sound. I don't know if that came through, but...
I saw you scrubbing.
Like someone scrubbing.
Yeah.
Yes. I'll just key on my mic and just say, Sputnik, I've made entry.
And you step into this. Kind of leads into a kitchen, quite a well-appointed kitchen. It's quite large. There's a nice island in the centre. It all looks very spick and span. They obviously take quite a lot of pride in this room. Once again, it's all very, very white and bright and new looking. There's like an archway ahead. There's no door. There's like an archway, and you can kind of hear this sound of scrubbing coming from that room. Ahead of you, there's a room like you see these like wooden floorboards in front of you. In that room, just beyond. Yeah.
Right. Are there any like dirty dishes or anything in the kitchen? Does everything in here seem?
No, it all seems pretty clean. You can spot the dishwasher straight away. You can imagine that if there's anything that was dirty, it's probably in the dishwasher. Everything else, though, all the worktops and that, absolutely pristine.
All right. I'll move forwards quietly, try and get an idea of what's being scrubbed and where it is in relation to me.
And so as you kind of make your way further into the kitchen, I guess you can see kind of hands, and there's like a wire brush, and you can see somebody scrubbing away at the floorboards just beyond in the next room. They're kind of, you could just see these kind of yellow rubber gloves, if you like, and scrubbing away. The foam that is kind of coming up from these floorboards as this thing is scrubbing the soap into them. There's a definite strong smell of bleach. The foam is red. Like a crimson red.
Alright. I'll just take a look around as much as I can before Mara comes back in. Try and spot anything. Anything that would imply what the red foam is. Past it being red foam.
I don't. Could it be red paint? Could somebody spill some red paint on the floor and they're scrubbing it up?
Doesn't seem like it's foaming quite the same way.
Maybe not.
Everything, I assume, is covered by the smell of bleach.
Oh yes, yeah, that is the thing that is almost overwhelming. And they've even, you can see that windows have been thrown open in the kitchen, and that, to try and remove some of that smell, or to stop it from being so overpowering. But yeah,
so
I'll
step
you
back
can
into
just
the kitchen for a moment, because I think I think that's just about the time where Mara should be coming back in.
Okay.
I'll step back into the kitchen and try and miss her, listen for her coming and then leaving again. I assume she's coming to here.
You hear her kind of come into that room, and she kind of, you hear her kind of getting down as well, and another basic wire brush starts scrubbing, and you can hear them muttering to each other, and they sound worried, they sound panicky, but they're kind of whispering, almost as if they think that the neighbours will be able to hear them.
Can I tell what they're whispering at all?
It seems to be along the lines of, it's not coming out, that kind of thing. How the hell? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? I don't believe, I can't, what can we do? What can we do? That kind of, it's panicky. No, they don't sound German. Definitely American.
I'll step back out through the back door.
Okay. And you're standing out the path up to the side of the house. Yep.
head back round to the front.
Right. And you're to the front door?
The front door, yeah. And
Okay.
I'll ring the doorbell.
All right. What's everybody else doing at this moment in time? Are you just watching from the van?
No, I'm
Anything
actually trying to track where Emily went and everything.
Yeah. So all you've managed to do is you've kind of tracked her. The various houses that have these kind of cameras, security systems on them. You kind of track her leaving. She comes out of the cul-de-sac. She goes up the road, up the street.
Yeah.
And she is running desperately. She's fleeing the area, it appears. And you see her on each of these houses until you're out of range of your Wi-Fi.
Yep.
And it's like she's not stopping. She looks back periodically. You notice she's kind of taking a desperate look back, but she is just running. You kind of get the impression that she doesn't even know where she's going. She's just running. It's that quick.
While Sputnik's been around the back of the house, I've been checking out this catering truck to see what they might be, who they are. Is there a connection obvious to anybody?
Yes. Yeah, there is. I mean, I guess what you're running license plates and stuff like that through various different things.
Just
I guess
trying to get to check out who runs the company and the company records and just is it all legit?
I'm going to make you make a roll for this one. Once again, is this an occupational thing for you? I don't know. Is it, or is it just a regular human eye for you?
It's a kind of paranoid sort of thing. I'm still leaning on this. Everything is a question. Everything's everybody that comes to see Cypher F gets checked out like this because he needs to know that they're on the level and they're not trying to rip off the very thing that he holds most dear, which is his security key for his hardware security key for all of his crypto. And if anybody gets hold of that, so he is. He's para. He's all shades.
Okay, well, it's up to you. If you want to use occupational die, that's fine.
Yes. I got 3.
Okay. So you're kind of running through. I don't know. Maybe you know databases that other people don't know, or something like that, and you've maybe got a license plate for this truck, and it's registered to. It's registered to a local restaurant called the Worldly Traveller.
Oh.
Proprietor, one Rachel Kinder. However, the restaurant has been shut down for some time, or it's been closed. The new licenses haven't been reapplied for or anything like that for quite some time.
Okay. And I say that. I just go, it looks like Rachel Kinder paid a visit with her truck. A truck big enough to have quite a lot of people disappearing. If I wanted to move bodies and carpets, this is exactly the kind of truck that I would do it in.
But why was she running? That's the question.
Maybe she didn't want to get into the back of the truck.
She looked scared, so that's the thing.
So that may be next on the list to check out.
Yeah.
Because if it's no licenses, then what's it doing? How are they operating from there?
Told you. There wasn't. It's not a dining club or a supper club, is it?
I mean, it's still quite possibly eaten.
Meanwhile, at the front of the house, the doorbell rings. And there's kind of like maybe you even sense this kind of, or you imagine from inside the house, like a sharp intake of breath before the door kind of cracks open slightly, and you see this woman peers around the crack in the door.
Hey,
Hello.
Nick. I'm working with Seattle PD. We're looking into a missing persons case.
You almost see her shit herself when you say Seattle PD. Yeah, you see this look of panic, even though you can only see like half of her face. I'm sorry. What can I help you with? What?
We're looking into a missing persons case, as I say. The gentleman, and I look down at a notebook in my hand.
Yeah.
Mr. Wilkes he had an appointment here, and that's the last time he was heard from. I was wondering if he kept it, there was I look at the notebook again, a supper club here, and he was supposed to attend this event. Apologies, I assume Mr. Grant Swanson, your husband, was the host.
I'm sorry. This is regarding what? She looks absolutely
As I said, a missing
terrified.
persons case. A person is missing. I'm sorry, is the accent hard to understand? I have trouble sometimes.
The door kind of pushes kind of slightly closed, and you hear her shout, Grant, it's the police. You hear something being dropped onto the floor, and then the door kind of opens slightly. You see a gentleman standing there now. I'm sorry, can I help you? My wife says this is something to do with a missing person.
Hello, sir. Mr. Swanson, I assume. I stick out my hand for him to shake.
Yeah. And he kind of looks down, and you can see he's wearing kind of these like bright yellow rubber gloves that are now kind of covered in like this kind of red or pinkish kind of liquid. And he pulls that off immediately, turning the glove inside out, and drops it on the floor and holds out his hand. I'm sorry, we've had a slight accident in the dining room, and
are you okay? Is anybody hurt?
oh no, it's not an accident like that. No, I spilled something.
I see. The red wine, I assume.
Yes.
I step forward slightly to shake his hand, and as I do so, I just get my foot slightly in the doorway.
Okay. He doesn't appear to notice. So, you're looking for someone, did you say?
Yes, as I said to your wife, we're investigating a missing persons case. I believe there was an event I look at the notebook again.
Yeah.
You were hosting here 3 days ago for the supper club?
You see him visibly, his Adam's apple, go up and down as he swallows very, very hard, and his voice goes a little bit weak. That's right.
Do you perhaps have a list of the persons who were attending such event? We're looking for information in connection to a missing person.
Oh no. We only know them through the mailing list. We don't really know them personally. Any of the other members of the group. No,
I understand. I have used Meetup app before, but do you have that mailing list, a list of names perhaps? We know it was the event that the gentleman was attending was from this supper club, so I assume you hosted all of them here, some of them here?
He starts to sweat. That's the thing you kind of notice. It's not like it's a particularly warm day. But no, he's definitely sweating as you're asking him these questions. And he says, the list of the members, I can maybe get that off my computer if if you'd like.
Okay,
I can.
appreciate
Perhaps I could. Perhaps you have an email address. I could send them to you or something.
If you have a printer, I can wait and you can print a copy off it. I need to chase up the leads quickly. The bosses are on my ass, so.
Yeah, sure. He looks at his wife, who's standing there. They are both looking guilty as sin. And he kind of steps back and says, "Please, if you would like to wait in the living room there, perhaps I can go and fetch you the list."
I can do so, yes. Through here, yes. I'll step inside to wherever he indicates living room.
Okay, yeah. Which
Is there a spot I can stand in the living room where I can see the back door?
No. As you kind of step in, you've got like an entrance hallway. And to the right, you can kind of make out, like, there's another archway, a bit like the one you saw from the kitchen, which leads into like this big kind of dining area. And the living room, he's kind of gesturing to the left side of the hallway. So it's kind of away from the dining room.
Okay.
Which is attached to the kitchen. Yeah. And he kind of pushes the door open and gestures for you to enter.
Yeah.
I shall only be a moment.
That's quite all right. I'll wait here.
And his
I'll just
wife,
take a quick
you see,
glance around.
yeah. And as
Is
you do that, you kind of basically see her. She's kind of looking at him, like, "What do I do now?" Kind of look on her face, and he says, "Perhaps you could make the officer a coffee or something. I shan't be a moment." And he kind of puts both his hands on her shoulders and looks her straight in the eyes. And you kind of see him kind of squeeze her shoulders as if to reassure her. He looks at you. Coffee?
Yes, please. No black, no sugar.
What's everybody else up to while this is going on? Are you doing anything in particular?
I think while obviously Sputnik's been talking, I would have made my way back down the street.
Yep.
Seeing that he was at the door talking to them, I would take this opportunity to do another sweep around the house, checking the windows and everything. Because while
You're actually going around their property.
Yeah, while
Okay.
they're at the door, I want to see looking at any windows or anything.
Awesome. Yeah, nice one. Anybody else? What's Shark and Cypher doing?
Shark is going to hack into the internet of Madam.
Okay. Are you looking for anything in particular, or
Just to check him.
Search history.
okay?
To plant a bug.
Okay. So you basically want to be able to listen in on whatever they get up to their accounts and that kind of shit, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's going to be relatively straightforward. Cypher, what are you up to?
In the interim, I had asked Shark to pull up if there was any internal cameras so I could see what was going on inside the property.
Yep.
If there is, and he puts them up on my laptop. And I just speak if there is. I don't know if there is or not. That's.
Just because I'm a bastard, I'm going to say no.
Yeah. Well, in that case, then I asked.
I know I'm not supposed to, but I'm going
Shark.
to say I don't know. Yeah.
Sure. Is there any internal cameras? Because I just saw Sputnik walk around the front door there, and he's gone in. You got
Why didn't he go alone?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, he's obviously onto something. Have you got any cameras inside?
Let me check.
Do you know what? Fuck it. Let's say yes. There is fucking cameras inside. Yes, there is.
Okay.
Funnily enough, if you look twice, suddenly there's
Yeah.
cameras.
Yeah. He missed them the first time. You know, it was a casual thing.
He's got a lot to do.
I think I'll see a few though.
Yeah,
Let me give you access.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
while you do that, I'll go and accompany our agent
Okay.
side.
Oh, right. So you're...
Yep.
Who's doing what, sorry?
I'm going after Agent Sputnik.
You're going after Sputnik. Okay, so he's kind of inside. And we've got Orla going around the outside of the property, going to have a look in. And Cypher, you're doing what, sorry?
So I'm looking through
For the cameras.
The cameras. I assume they're only on the lower floor, and I can see Sputnik there, and I'm just laughing at him.
You can, yeah, you can. He's sat in the living room. It's a very, very well appointed house that they've got here. And everything looks very expensive, very spick and span, very well cared for and looked after. Looks almost new, a lot of this stuff.
I'm chuckling to
And
myself.
yeah, he's kind of sat there. We'll find out what you see from him in just a moment. Orla, as you're going around the outside of the building, perhaps you encounter the kind of French doors on the back of the house as you walk around the outside, and you're kind of looking straight through into the dining room. You can see those buckets that have kind of been left in there. Seem to have been doing some scrubbing in there. A lot of people trying to clean this patch on the floor, and you can see this patch. It's a massive red patch on the floor. The dining room table seems to have been pushed up to one side of the room as they are trying to obviously scrub this stain out of the floorboard.
Is it just on the floor that you can see it's clean?
Just on the floor that's where the stain is. Yeah, that's where they seem to be working.
I'll relay that through any comms and just say, confirm it's the dining room. We've got red patch on the floor that they're trying to clean with the confirmed bleach that had been found.
Yep.
Did you say there were French doors?
Yeah.
I will check the doors, see if they open.
Yeah, one of them slides slightly as you.
I will enter the house. I'll look around for the other two, because see if I can hear them, whether they're still at the door or they have moved away. But
you can hear, if we kind of go back a little bit, you can hear somebody talking. All right, clever clogs. You can hear voices in a room nearby.
Okay.
And then, as you're kind of standing there, you hear footsteps kind of coming towards you, towards this room that you're in.
Okay. I'll try and keep out of sight.
They're sliding French doors. All right.
If the sliding doors are not French doors, mate.
They're sliding French doors. They were made in France and shipped across at great expense.
Nobody in France is
But they're
making sliding
sliding.
doors.
They're unique.
I've been forced to working for 5 years.
So
Nobody in
listen,
France is making sliding doors.
Never roleplay for double glazing salesmen. Ever. I'll have you for that.
Anyway, Orla goes through the sliding French doors.
She goes through the sliding doors that were made in France. And, well, she's kind of standing in the dining room. And you can hear now somebody coming this way. Coming towards you!
Ooh. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
I think the first thing I want to try and do is maybe try and get a picture on my phone.
Yep.
But then I will try and slip out of sight, but try and watch where they're coming. Like if somebody does come into this room, or they just do carry on.
Okay. Yeah. I can tell you now, they're definitely coming into this room because they're coming to the kitchen to make somebody a coffee.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So, it's good. All good. Shark, you're at the front door.
Mm-hmm.
It is shut. Oh, you're knocking.
Yep.
So as you knock, there's a sudden pause in the footsteps as they're coming towards you, Orla. And then you hear them retreat slightly, and then the door opens, and shock, you see Mara Swanson is kind of standing in front of you again, looking confused,
Okay.
terrified, all of the above.
Okay. Madam, I heard my colleague was inside.
Your colleague? Oh, sorry. You mean, yes, yeah, certainly. She opens the door wider. He's just through there. Would you like coffee? I was just making coffee.
Tea, please.
Okay. She looks, as you're just kind of standing there, not doing anything, she looks petrified. There is guilt all over her face. She cannot hide it. She just looks like this is it. She's going to jail.
Everything okay, madam? You look a bit frightened.
Fine, I'm fine. And she, tea, you said. And she turns her back on you and starts, hey, Superwolf, and starts walking towards. You've got enough time now to take your photo and get out because of that little distraction, if you wish.
Yeah.
And so you kind of slip through the sliding French door and out back into the backyard. Right. You are in the living room, Shark, with Sputnik, who's sat there calmly waiting for his coffee. After a few moments, you see Grant Swanson enters. He's carrying a bit of paper in his hand. Basically just has the names that you have already got on a piece of paper. He hands it to Agent Sputnik. Cypher, you see all of this going on in the cameras inside.
I'll just scan this list. Does it have all the names on it?
Yeah, it's identical to the one you've got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just check it hasn't tried to remove any names.
Nope.
Okay. I'll stand up as he walks in and look at the list. Fold it and put it in my pocket.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Is there anything else, or would that be it?
I wondered if you can tell me. We're trying to get a sense of the time frame here. We know he disappeared at some point during this, presumably during this event, or after this event. What time did your guests arrive? What time did everybody arrive?
It was around 8 p.m.
Everybody on this list.
Yes. No, wait. Maybe one of them did arrive early.
Okay, who was it? Sorry, who arrived early?
He's. I mean, you can see the color is just basically drained right out of his face. It was Mr. Wilkes.
Okay, I take out my little notebook and make a note. And they all came in. You ate dinner. They all left. What time did people start leaving? What time did people start leaving?
It was around 11 p.m. I think. You can see him. He's physically shaking, and you kind of get this feeling that if at any moment, if he doesn't sit down, he is going to fall over.
And they all left at around the same time. Did anybody stay for an extra bottle?
No one stayed late. No one stayed. He's wringing his hands. He's like...
But they all left around 11. And Mr. Wilkes, he arrived earlier. Did he leave at the same time as the others?
I don't remember.
You host an event for 12 people and you don't remember one of them leaving?
I don't remember. His legs buckle at this point, and he sits himself down. You see all this on the cameras, Cypher. You can watch what's going on. You can't hear what's being said, but you can see all of this kind of happening in front of Sputnik and Shark.
What I will say is, I think once Ola's took the picture and had a good look at it, she will forward it onto. I'm assuming they have each other's phone numbers, so she will forward it onto the other guys.
Okay, so everybody's phone pings at that particular moment.
Mine doesn't. I do not have one.
Oh, yours? You do not have one. Okay. Do you take your phone out at that point, Agent Shark?
I do.
And look, do you allow him to see what's on the screen?
I do not, because I have a screen on it that other people cannot look at it.
Got ya. Okay.
I'll kneel down next to Mr. Swanson.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
I don't feel well. I don't feel well.
Did you have a lot of wine last night, this morning? You dropped some in the kitchen?
He made us do it. I don't know how. She did something to us.
She?
The chef.
Rachel Kinder. What did she make you do?
And his eyes kind of well with tears. She's evil. She made us do it. We didn't want to. We couldn't stop ourselves. There was something.
Grant, look at me. What did she make you do?
We ate him.
You ate Mr. Wilkes.
And he throws up immediately as he says that. And right onto the white carpet, he just barfed.
Excuse me.
We didn't want to do it. We didn't want to do it. There was something. She did something. We couldn't stop ourselves. None of us.
And the accident you were cleaning up in the kitchen, this was Mr. Wilkes.
We couldn't stop ourselves.
I see.
It wasn't Mara, it was me. I did it all. It was me. Mara had nothing to do with it.
Is her name on the list? This is to you, not to Grant.
Okay.
I'm not asking him to look at the list.
Not necessarily. I mean, Mara would have. I mean, you've
should have been implied as a +1.
Yeah.
Being host at his
being
house.
I mean, you can see straight through it. He's obviously trying to protect her.
No, yeah, I was just checking.
Yeah.
He was the one on the
would've-
list.
Yeah.
So she made you eat Mr. Wilkes, and then everybody went home at 11 o'clock?
What were we supposed to do? What would you have done?
There are channels to report this to proper authorities.
What do we say? What do we tell people? We call up the police and say we ate a man. We invited a man to dinner and then ate him.
A chef murdered a man in front of us. His blood is all over our dining room.
Well, that's just the thing. She didn't kill him.
You ate him while he was still conscious.
Oh my god!
Agent Sharks does performances.
Okay, in that case, I'd like you to make a dark die roll, please, if you would.
Okay.
Yeah, you can add yourself a point of at stress if you wouldn't mind
Okay.
on your character sheet. Yeah, if you could just open up your character sheet, there should be a box there for stress. You just have to write 1 in there now, if you like.
Yep.
Cool.
There you go.
Yeah.
Turn round to Shark to start to say, I don't think we're getting anything useful from him. And then I see Shark vomit in front of me. They're done. Come with me. And I sort of grab Shark's arm and start to lead him
Cypher,
out.
you see all of this on camera, of course.
I'm laughing at this point because I don't know what's been said.
No, you don't. You just see people throwing up.
Yeah.
And yeah, Mr. Swanson looks very, very, very distressed.
And I'll just lead Shark back to the car. As I do all.
Okay.
And I'm laughing.
Radio.
So you hear. I'm still chuckling. I'm at the end of my chuckles as the two of you approach the car, and then I smell the air, and I'm like, "Does she not make good coffee?" What was that about, Shark? You just
This was not
puked
the
up.
coffee.
You just puked up in
That
front
was
of
not
something.
coffee. That was totally not coffee.
Wait, we didn't get the coffee. I should wait.
Just like,
That's
They
the key,
just-
my mic.
They
I'll
just
come back to the
completely
car.
ate him.
they what?
They ate Soiree. The chef apparently made them, compelled them to eat Soiree. I think we need to
Right.
check out the restaurant.
I have got some details. The van that was here. The van that was here was Rachel Kinder's at the Worldly Traveller. So, whatever's in that van has gone back to her restaurant. They ate him.
They ate him alive,
Oh,
apparently.
Well, we saw him leave on the camera
I,
footage.
This reminds me of a cult that they discovered in the West End of London, where they would lure people and torture them in fighting pits, and the rich people the wealthy bankers would gamble on them, and at the end they would dine on them. But I didn't think that was true. I mean, I thought it was true, but I didn't really
yes,
think it
you
was
did.
true. I'm gonna. It's just what they ate him. Yeah, I think being told a trustworthy source about something and having seen what he saw, I think at this point the foundations of Cypher are kind of rocked a bit.
Yeah. I think that would be an appropriate response. In fact, you've just rolled your dark die there, and you've got a 5, haven't you, Agent Shark?
Mm-hmm.
As you were being pulled away from the house, your gaze was drawn. Your gaze was drawn to what looked like an abandoned dumpster across the opposite side of the room, of the road.
Okay. I'll go that way to check it out.
Okay, so you clean yourself up and then make your way. What's Orla doing at this point?
I'm actually putting on a new shirt because the spaghetti was all over it.
Yeah.
Ola would be making her way back to the car. Obviously, she would have been just coming back.
Yeah.
with the
So
guy.
you kind of, as you kind of get back, you see that Shark is in. He's a very, very pale looking. He doesn't smell too good either at the moment.
No.
But you kind of see him as he's kind of sat there in the side door of the van, kind of open, getting some air or whatever. And he kind of looks across the road towards this old abandoned dumpster. And it's kind of that point that as you see where he's looking, all of you, you kind of notice there seems to be a bit of activity around beneath it.
Rats?
Yes.
So we'll head to the dumpster and see what's inside.
Okay, so
No,
as you kind of make your way over there, you are aware, you can hear them. There's quite a few of them kind of scurrying around, scratching about beneath the dumpster and inside the dumpster as well. And as you kind of throw the lid, you kind of all recoil. In fact, I'm going to make you all make a die roll, a dark die roll here. As you see, this large number of... you can all add a point of stress in, I think. Yeah. As this large kind of group of rats and insects, cockroach type things, like, are all chewing away at a carcass. There's not a lot left of it now. Mainly, it's mainly bones by this point. But they seem to be even gnawing through that, trying to get through, maybe to the marrow or something in the bones. But it's definitely a human skeleton that is in there. The thing you notice is that it seems to be missing both its hands and its head.
Okay.
Identify them.
Yeah, but it's like mainly bone. Just a little bit of, perhaps a bit of gristle left on it. Maybe a bit of sinew here and there. But yeah, there's just this kind of corpse that's full of remains laying in the bottom of this abandoned dumpster, covered in vermin.
Is it, as it were, in one piece? Absent
Yes.
the parts that are absent.
Yes, pretty much. But if in the sections, maybe the legs are detached from the torso, but the torso is pretty much.
I'm looking for the leg bits.
Yeah, the legs are there. Feet are
Right,
still
sort of.
attached to it.
Mutter, oh, this is going to be disgusting. And I lean over towards the leg parts, and I'm looking for a scar or marking on the tibia.
Yes.
One of the legs.
Yes. And you do find as if something has cut across part of the tibia at some point in the past. There is like that definite. You're left in no doubt whose body this is. This is the body of Reginald Will.
That's Soiree. There's scarred on his leg, it's in his file.
Okay.
Unlucky. Oh, God. Well,
So,
we've got something to report back to Hallow then.
yes, we need to find out what's going to happen with these people. I don't understand how, like, we saw him leave before everybody else came.
Yeah, that's the strange thing.
The
But
cameras cover every entrance, every access, the entire house.
He left.
He could have come back a different way.
He left with Rachel, and then the van came back.
And
If you-
he could
If
have
you
been
were
in the
serving
van.
up, if you were serving up dinner, don't you think you would bring it in a catering van?
That would seem to be. Get in the car, let's head to the restaurant. Keep the windows open, it's a rental, please don't. Please don't vomit in my car. This isn't conspiracy funds.
So, are we thinking that he was compelled also? Like, if they
Soiree?
ate him,
I
yeah.
would think. Do we have any sort of anti-compulsion training as mandatory for conspiracy agents?
I mean, I guess it kind of would depend on the nature of the compulsion. I mean, we're talking supernatural, potentially. So probably not. I mean, you would have maybe gone through certain training, like standard kind of CIA kind of stuff, maybe.
It's not
like
unheard
interrogation
of
stuff, but
army soldiers to be more susceptible to compulsion, though. So, whatever it is, natural or more than, he could have been compelled. Ola, text Hello, tell her we found body of Soiree. Investigating killer. Can we say killer? They were all killers, surely.
Yeah. Is what he would.
Investigating head of killing. Write something. I drive.
I'll send you a text. I will. I don't be gross. Take a picture as proof. You know,
Okay.
this what we figured out that it's him.
Yeah.
With the scar.
Things are harmless too.
sure. Yeah, you can send her a message and send her the photographic evidence if you so desire.
Yeah.
Awesome. Where are you heading, folks?
I'm driving to Worldly Traveller.
Okay.
That's a strange name for the restaurant, but
Yes, isn't it? So the Worldly Traveller, it's kind of downtown. It's kind of there's like a back street. It would have been at one point quite a trendy thing, kind of a bit off the beaten track, but quite a sophisticated. It would have been quite a bit like Soho became really trendy back in the 80s and that kind of stuff. It's like once would have been a seedy area, but is now like a really cool place to be.
So
Yeah. But it's all shuttered up. It doesn't look like it's been open in quite some time. Yeah, the door's locked, shutters are down.
when we see a catering truck or catering van like the one that Cypher described.
There is a parking lot nearby, which has got one or two cars in it, but none of them appear to be a catering truck. There's none that appears to be like the one that you saw on the video. CCTV.
You think this is front property? Should I go look inside you, try and find other address for Rachel Kinder?
Yeah, I think this is definitely a front.
This is a front. Let's go in.
I
Weapons
think we
out.
can. I'll walk round to the trunk and grab my pistol and grab a crowbar.
Okay. Yeah, no worries.
No lions.
Everybody else? Anything that anybody else wants to do?
Yeah, I'll get my gun out as well.
Torch. Gun.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it is. It's probably about 8:30, 9 a.m. maybe at the moment. So it's fairly well lit. It just kind of makes the area. It's one of those things where maybe at night it might have looked quite chic. Who knows with the lights and everything of the city, but during the day it definitely looks like a bit of a shit up here. The door is locked, as I say. Are you making your way around the back? You want to search for a back entrance, or do you want to go in through the front? There's nobody about. No one
just go
about.
straight
at all.
into the front door.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crowbar.
Sure. And yeah, so you managed to kind of open the door. You pick the lock and
Open.
find your way in. Yeah, legitimately. And yeah, you kind of enter this restaurant. Now it looks like at some point there would have been a bit of money spent on this place. There's a little bit of dust around, but not too much. Somebody has obviously been here relatively recently. if not in the last couple of days. The kitchens and that are all still in pretty good state of repair. Everything looks to be in good shape. It's just probably hasn't been used or opened. Certainly hasn't been used in a restaurant, for a while.
I'm going to put my crowbar down on a nearby table or whatever.
Yep.
And I'll take out some earplugs and turn around to everybody so they can see what I'm doing. Take out some earplugs and put them in my ears.
Yep.
And then draw my gun and signal moving forwards.
Okay. What's everybody else up to?
Following your agent.
All right. So you make your way into the restaurant. It's not a massive place. It maybe has 15 tables that will be set out. It would have, it would have looked busy with very few people in, really. But the decor and that, it all looks like a few years old, but it would have been pretty classy back in the day. It would have been. She spent a bit of money on it, whoever owned.
So we could assume this was before she disappeared from public eye for a while.
Yeah, maybe. Or at least certainly that's when she set this thing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you said someone had been here recently. Can we see marks, tracks in the dust, or marks of where they've been?
It's more a case, I think, that somebody has obviously cleaned up recently, but not within the last week or so, maybe.
Okay.
So there is dust around, but it's not like years of dust gathered around.
Yeah. Someone's been cleaning the area.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
least.
Yeah.
Okay. Move towards the back and see if I can see or hear anything as I'm moving through.
Sure. It's all very, very quiet. Strangely so. It does look like it hasn't been frequented in time, as in no clients in it, no customers. And I mean, Shark would know. He'd have looked at the licenses for this place. Haven't been renewed in quite some time, so it's unlikely that anybody would have ever frequented this place as a customer in a number of years, maybe. So, yes.
I'm still seeing the house. Have we seen, or are we still?
Oh, sorry, I beg your pardon. Yes, we have, but unfortunately, this is an evening shot of the alley as opposed to a morning one.
Once we've been around, and once we're getting further around, if there's an office or anything seen, Ola's gonna just go in there and have a look.
Yeah, looking for anything in particular?
It's just looking at documentation or anything. Obviously, we know it's something to do with Rachel, but it's if there's anything recent, perchance, or anything to say about this, the catering company.
Maybe you find you might find some paperwork perhaps relating to the lease of a catering truck. The registration does match the one that you've seen on the footage that at the Swanson residence. Yeah, there's definitely connected to this establishment. Even if this establishment hasn't been in use, that lease is still current.
So was the lease from before it was closed on the vehicle?
No, it's more recent. Maybe the licenses ran out for the restaurant, but the lease is newer than that time period. Maybe as if somebody was perhaps starting something up.
If it has vehicle tracking, it is requirement for business insurance, surely.
Vehicle tracking?
Yes. As in, there is listing of catering truck. Does catering truck have vehicle tracking?
That's interesting. I don't know. Shall we make a roll of some kind to find out?
I would like to make a roll of some kind to find out if catering truck has vehicle tracking.
Okay. Is this something within your field of
Tentatively?
experience? I'm going to leave it up to you.
By radio frequency, but it's not really within my expertise. Specifically tracking vehicles, so probably not. But
Okay, well, make a human die roll then. Let's see what you can come up with.
I am still a human.
You are.
Yes.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Yes, you do.
Uh-oh.
So, yeah. There is. You want to know where it is currently at this moment in time? Is that
Yeah, and whatever, if there's a tool we can use to track it if it starts moving.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's say right now. Right now, it seems to be in the street outside Reginald Wilkes' apartment.
It just come from there. Well, if truck is going to move, we should be quick. I don't think there's anything else here. Ola, can you get that on your phone? Can you track truck? Track vehicle?
Sure.
I can't say track truck, it sounds wrong.
The track truck app.
Can you track truck with truck tracking app?
I'm sure we can pull
You
something.
surely can.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think you can do that. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to do that. Let's do that.
Maybe
Excellent.
we'd have all the documentation of all the track or anything. So
Yeah. You can do this with no problem whatsoever.
Let us return to truck and track truck with truck tracking app.
yes.
I've had far too much to drink by now to actually know what you just said. But
I can go
yeah,
faster.
absolutely. At about this moment, there's a beep on all of your phones. And there's a message from Hello. It says, hello.
Hello.
All it says is something like, Soiree's made contact.
That seems unlikely.
Yes. It does seem unlikely.
Can I
And then
phone
she
hello?
forwards kind of
Rolling
the
same
message on.
work.
And the message just says, I need to show you something. Meet me underneath the lighthouse in the park at 11. You'd know that the lighthouse would probably be the lighthouse in Discovery Park in Seattle.
How long do we have before 11? You said it was
A
8 or
couple of
9
hours.
invented.
Yeah.
Okay.
When we get back to Swanee's apartment in that time.
Yeah, you could probably do that. And then go onward if you wish.
Okay. Maybe we head back to Soiree's apartment, try and track truck, and then if truck is not there, we can go to Lighthouse. I'll text hello back and specify not Soiree. It's just in capital letters, not Soiree. He takes the time
Okay.
to put the accent over the E though.
Sure. Oh, of course. And the reply comes back. Basically, watch yourself.
This is not helpful information. I always watch myself.
Do
I'll
you?
put it back in my pocket.
Who watches themselves except narcissists? Anyway.
Yes, you have pinned me down to a single word. I'll get back in the truck. Our truck, not the other truck.
Yep. And you're
Wait for
heading
us
back
get in the truck so we can track the other truck.
Okay. We're going to track the truck from the
Use the
truck.
truck tracking app.
Yeah, using the truck tracking app. Okay. Okay, folks. Anybody else got any other plans or want to do anything before they leave this area?
I want
Speak
to,
now or forever hold your peace.
while that is all going on, I'm looking at my phone going, oh, But I'm looking for anything at a different level underground, particularly.
Can you elaborate?
I am looking for
I've had too
stairs.
much to drink by this
I'm
point.
looking for stairs down. I'm looking for trapdoor. I'm looking for hatches. I'm looking for basement type
Okay.
arrangements.
I'm going to say there is a cellar. There is a small cellar that seems to be where would have been a licensed premises at some point. There appears to be places for beer barrels and shit like that.
And I shout back, I'm just going down the cellar. Nothing bad ever happens in the cellar.
All right.
You want backup?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
He'd like to come back up when he's done.
I turn around and I follow Cypher into cellar.
Okay. Yeah, you follow your companion down into the cellar. There are a lot of empty beer barrels and that kind of down here. There are perhaps a few bottles that have gone over, boiled or whatever. Hasn't been touched in quite some time. If anybody was thinking of opening up this premises, they wouldn't be doing it with the shit that's in here. This is all off and bad or used, spent by now.
Yeah, at this point, I'm just looking for a pile of corpses.
Okay, you do not find a pile of corpses.
Do I see anything else that looks like it's been
Pile of
used
corpses.
for anything? Like, does it look like it's completely
Okay,
unused?
yes, there is. You find a refrigerator.
Aha!
A refrigerator.
It's on. It's turned on.
And it's on. Yeah, the electricity is still working in this place, and the refrigerator is on. As you kind of pull the door open a tad, you can see the light shining out
What's in
behind the door.
it?
Inside, there's very little. You don't find any human remains, at least as far as you're aware. Maybe some spoilt meat, but there's a can. There is a can that is open, partially open. It's kind of weird. It's like a catering can of some kind.
Oh, like a tin of beans or something, or a tin of pineapple, or
Yeah, kind of.
something else
Except
you took in pizza.
it definitely is not. It definitely is not either of those things. And it's kind of like the label is kind of pure white. We're just writing. It kind of looks quite old-fashioned. You think? Strangely.
Take a picture.
And there's kind of the only thing. Yeah, you take a photograph. The only thing that it seems to have is just writing on it with the barest approximation of a logo, if you like. It says the Carcosa Canning Company.
Okay.
And inside the can, assuming you look, it's actually already partially. It's open. You can just kind of lift up the lid and have a look inside. What you see inside is, at first you kind of think it's like caviar. There's like lots of kind of little round spheres, if you like, in a kind of liquid, fluid, partial liquid. Like little pearls almost inside.
What does it smell like?
And there's a smell of honey and fish.
Take a photograph.
There's nothing
of
to
that.
say. Nothing on the label to say what it is.
Can I look around for
Just
a screwdriver or a corkscrew or a spoon or a ladle?
You can,
or
you can
grab
find. I
something
mean,
and I just kind of stir it around a bit.
yeah. You do that. Yeah, it kind of has this kind of strange consistency. These little kind of spheres, if you like, in like a fluid.
Yeah. I've got a ladle and I just ladle some and I hold it round to Sputnik and I'm like, have you got a torch? We need to take a look at this properly. This.
I'll take my gun out and switch on the mounted flashlight.
Okay.
And
you're looking at this thing. It's kind of like these little iridescent little spheres inside like a kind of a black kind of liquid.
It looks kind of like caviar.
It kind of smells a bit like
With sort
caviar.
of inky caviar.
with a mixture of sweet honey in it. This is, and I pour it back in, close the fridge,
Yep.
You think we
Okay.
should take a sample?
open the fridge, get the ladle back out,
Okay.
look around for a pot, like an old catering pot, and pour some into, like a takeaway pot or something, I don't know, doggy bag box, whatever it is.
Okay.
So I've got this small carton of this stuff, a ladle full.
Yep. You
and
do.
I'm just like, well, that's lunch sorted.
I would probably not eat that.
No, I was joking.
Again, I do not want to vomit in car.
Okay. Yeah. So
As we start to leave the basement, I'll just text hello and just say Cargo's a canning company ?
Okay. I mean, nothing comes back straight away.
I know,
Maybe she's
basement's
running. Yep. Okay. What now then? You're heading to
The rendezvous.
Wilkes, or you're heading to?
Oh,
So I head
Discovery
to
Park.
Soiree's apartment. We're going
Yeah.
to try and catch the catering truck if it's still there.
Okay. Sure. You quickly drive across town. And you find the truck. It's kind of parked up outside. It looks, the exact same truck that was on the CCTV. You don't see anybody in it.
You want to check truck, or you think maybe they're at apartment?
Well, I would guess they're in the apartment if they've been able to message Hara.
That's true, but we didn't find Soiree's phone at the apartment. Presumably it was on his person. There would
His
need to be an
person?
apartment to message.
They might have brought his stuff back. I don't know. They're clearly
Maybe
trying to
Conscientious,
cover.
aren't they?
Well, they're trying to cover it up.
Right,
I-
we check apartment, they check truck.
Yeah, can do.
Be careful.
Okay. Who's going to the apartment? Who's going to the truck?
I'm going towards the truck.
Truck.
You're going to the truck. Okay.
I'll have
So,
the call out the truck team.
okay. So
We aren't going to use it.
Yeah. So Shark and Cypher are at the truck. Does that mean that Orla and Sputnik are going up to the apartment?
Yes.
Okay. Let's deal with the truck first. You'll get to the truck before they get up to the apartment.
Does.
Yeah. Are you going to? Are you just going to break in? Is that the plan?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna smash the window.
Okay. Yeah, you've been handed this really nice crowbar. It's got quite a nice weight to it. You take a quick look around to see if anybody's about. Not too bad. There's not too many people about, so you put the window in. Awesome. And yeah, sure. The window caves in into 1,000 pieces, and bits of glass kind of scatter all across the seat. Reach in and unlock the door. Okay. And you're in the van.
Okay.
You're into the front of them now. Anyway.
I'm gonna check if the seat is still warm.
Let's say yes, relatively.
I grab the crowbar off Shark and go around the back.
Yep. Yep, and you kind of prise the back door open. Is that the plan?
Yep.
Yep. It takes a bit of effort. There's a bit of noise. You're kind of wondering if anybody heard. But eventually the door swings open on these hinges on the back there. And you step in. There's not much in the front there. But certainly in the back, you step into the this kind of this area where you can see all these utensils laid out. There's there's like a fridge and stuff like that, all in there, all ready, all running off the battery of the van. And directly ahead of you, there's like 2 receipt spikes, no, 3 receipt spikes. On each one, there is a part of a body.
I didn't
You can
need to
see.
see that.
There are two hands. There are 2 hands that kind of just sat on these spikes. There's no skin on them.
No.
But the flesh is kind of just left there, and you can make out the face. The skin has been removed once again, but the flesh is still there. The top of the head has been removed clean off. The brain pan is completely empty. But despite all of that, you recognize the face. And it's
Suarez.
looking at you. Yeah, he's like looking up. And the way these things have been arrayed, it's almost as if they're looking up with hands, with palms kind of almost together.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like you to make an
roll
insight.
on that.
Roll dark on the dark die if you wouldn't mind. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. That seems fair. 5.
Yeah, I think you're going up one of them, mate. Is that higher than what you got, right? I can't
yeah.
remember how it works, but we'll do it that way. Let's do it.
We'll do it that way. It's fine.
Yeah. I can't remember if I'm getting confused with those dark places now. But, yeah, so you kind of see these grisly things that are just kind of sat there on these receipt spikes. And they've definitely been arranged in this particular way. And it's horrible because it's almost like looking directly at you, almost up. Like this.
I knew it, and I go on the radio. Cultists, their delivery service is a front for human sacrifice. Be very careful.
Hey, Tim, is that still human sacrifice? How do you say this in English? He was eaten, he wasn't sacrificed.
He was sacrificed for lunch.
I understand.
Maybe dinner even.
That's one way to point it.
I found Soiree's head. It's on a spike. I take photographs. I think I'm even just doing that. I'm just like, damn cultists. Should never have been allowed anywhere near Facebook.
Yeah. All right.
Understood. We're almost at the apartment.
Okay, so you're at the apartment. You're at the door. Do you try the door? Are you going in? What's the plan? What's the deal? What are you doing?
Just
Outside
walk
this
up the
one.
door and knock politely.
Okay. You hear kind of movement inside.
Are we
I
gonna
knocked
check the door?
Hello?
The door opens. Kind of swings open towards you. Not towards you, towards the whoever's opening. Inside, there is. You just see the figure of a person kind of silhouetted there momentarily. And then the voice saying, "Can I help you?" And then the face kind of comes into view, and it's definitely Reginald Wilt.
Mr. Wilkes, can we come in? We wish to talk to you about a conspiracy.
And he smiles. Sure. Come on in. And he pulls the door open wide.
I'll step inside.
What's Orla doing?
Orla will follow Nick.
Okay, and you step in. And as you do that, he kind of shuts the door behind you. You hear a soft click as he locks it behind him.
Mr. Wilkes, I'm Nick, and this is Orla. We were led to believe you met a friend of ours, Miss Hallow. I'm looking at his eyes for recognition.
Yeah. He doesn't bat an eyelid. You guys are SL, right?
I'm sorry, I don't know what you mean.
He smiles again. It's a cold smile. There's a certain malevolence to it, maybe.
We were sent to invite you to a soiree that Miss Hallow is holding.
That sounds lovely. He turns. He's had his back to you this time. He kind of turns towards you, watching you. Where is this soiree?
Nearby diner. Miss Hallow suggested we meet there and maybe move on to a bar or two later on. I thought she'd told you the details.
I don't appear to have gotten those.
That's unfortunate. Have you changed your phone number, perhaps?
I think I misplaced my phone.
I see. Well, I mean, we are ready to go. We have a car downstairs if you
Are you
wish to
hungry?
join us.
I'm hungry. Are you
That's
hungry?
why we're going to the diner, Mr. Wilkes.
Turns his back to you again. As he kind of seems to be kind of fumbling with the door. You kind of get the impression that he's just messing with it. He's not actually doing anything with it.
As his back's turned, I just move my jacket out of the way so I can get to my gun.
Okay. Maybe we should just eat right here.
I mean, we could order in, I suppose, but then we would be leaving Miss Hallow stranded, surely.
I'm sure she won't mind. And as he turns around, it's like he seems to be gaining height as he turns around. And the skin on his face split. And then kind of thing kind of seems to kind of grow. And the limb then...
I draw my weapon.
Yep. Sure. What's Orla doing?
Just panicking this point. She
I
just-
think I'd like you both to make insight, dark die rolls if you wouldn't mind.
And 6.
What's your stress at the moment? Orla, are you on?
I'm just on one.
Okay, so you're now on 2. And so are you. You've got to go up one as well, Agent Sputnik, if you wouldn't mind. In fact, I'd let you both to I think go up in insight as well, if you wouldn't mind.
There's 1 point in
The
insight.
thing that's kind of standing in front of you is kind of a mockery of a human being. Its limbs are far too long. Its the legs are kind of they do that thing like dogs' legs do. They kind of got that bend in them. The skin kind of falls away from the thing, bloody heap, lying on the floor like something that shed its skin. This canine now muzzle this thing. Fingers have an extra knuckle each of the.
In the
Can't
close
out
to your
there,
mic.
Mark.
Sorry. Each of its fingers seems to have like an extra knuckle on it, on its hand with these extra long claws that kind of extend out from underneath, which seem to have either mud or blood or both beneath them. And a long kind of snarling tongue and huge rows of teeth. And it kind of leans forward and says, "Yes, let's eat now."
I think conversation is over. My left hand goes up to key my mic, and I just yell "danger," and I start
Okay.
firing.
Okay. I think perhaps what we get from the guys down in the truck is maybe you hear the gunshots first. I don't know, maybe you curse a little bit. You're supposed to be keeping this all quiet. But something is afoot.
Yeah, we hear the radio come in, Sputnik.
Yeah, and you hear
And I jump out
momentarily
the back of the van.
Sure.
Check to see that Shark's doing likewise, and then run up the stairs.
There's always one.
I'm actually getting the shotgun out.
Good choice.
Yeah. And you rush up towards the apartment, Soiree's apartment. The door is locked by the time you get up there. Now, this is based on Cthulhu Dark, unfortunately. And it's getting to that time of the evening.
I mean, either way.
So, I mean, so maybe we should probably wrap this up.
Okay.
It is unlikely that our two agents in the apartment have survived. In fact, they haven't.
They haven't.
I mean, Cthulhu Doc, normally would attacking a mythos creature ends in your demise
Yep.
by default.
Yep.
And as the time is now 20 past, and I did say we were going to end this one way or another. I think what we're going to say is by the time you manage to open this door, you burst open into this room, which is awash with blood and body parts, and no sign of either Agent Orla, Agent Sputnik, or anybody else for that matter, except maybe a rear window that has been smashed. And I don't know, maybe something climbed out. Who knows? But as a bit of an anticlimax, but due to the time and the nature of things, I think it's probably best if we do wind it up here. And our last few moments are perhaps our two agents standing amidst the carnage around Agent Soiree's apartment. There appears to be something thrown in the corner that may be a pile of clothing or something. We're not entirely sure. But there's a huge amount of blood and viscera that seems to be sprayed around the room. Maybe you do find a skull or two. They're empty. The tops of the heads have been removed aggressively in quite a violent manner. The brains are completely missing. There's a few, bent shell casings just kind of laying around on the floor. That's it.